Hey, what's up, everyone? Pop Culture Junkie here. I know this is a little bit different than what we normally do. It's been a while since I've posted one of these videos, but I have to say, after this week, I have to just get some things off my chest. I need to vent. I need to just scream a little bit because, oh my God, for you out there that check in with me from time to time, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, that you follow along with me with the topic of pro wrestling, and you enjoy watching, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, NXT, etc. We enjoy, try to enjoy watching these programs. And for those of you out there who have discovered my channel and my internet stuff, my social media, everything, through the joint passion we have for what is pro wrestling, this is the video for y'all. Okay, hopefully we'll see. I don't know. I just really can't fathom and believe what we have experienced this week in pro wrestling. Okay, now I'm gonna try to keep this nice, concise, and short and brief, but hopefully I don't go on too big of a rant, but we know how that goes. So let's start off real quick. We had WrestleMania. WrestleMania was a pretty decent show, actually. They gave us a lot of good payoffs on some matches. We had some decent outcomes. We actually had new champions. We had results in these matches. It was, wow. We were like, wow, they're really going to start on a new leaf, starting on, after Mania, Raw after Mania, SmackDown after Mania, whatever, etc. Then we get the announcement that we're going to be doing this Superstar Shakeup, where we have basically what's used to be known as the draft, where the Raw GM, SmackDown GM would, pick people they want to switch with and swap and whatever. Well, we get the Superstar Shakeup nowadays. So they just randomly announce, okay, this person's going to SmackDown, this person's going to Raw, and vice versa. And on those two episodes, on Raw and SmackDown, you have surprise elements for the first time in a while. That's the biggest thing that they've lacked so long in wrestling, in WWE wrestling, is the element of surprise, is letting us wonder at all times, oh my gosh, anything could happen. Again, that was what was one of the best reasons to enjoy wrestling during the Attitude Era, during the Monday Night Wars, is you never knew what was going to happen, whether it was what kind of matches or what kind of superstars would show up on the show that were already employed, but also who was not already employed, okay? When we had Jericho show up out of nowhere, when we had other stars from Nitro show up, or superstars from WWE show up on Nitro, vice versa, we just never knew who was going to show up. And that was what was drawing people to tune in, because it was a very cool surprise experience that is very, very sorely lacking nowadays, because they have to spoil everything ahead of time. They have to send out tweets hours ahead of the shows letting you know, breaking news, Yahoo Japan Sports from this internet site that nobody actually looks at, breaking news, blah 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 is going to be appearing on SmackDown for the first time in 12 years or whatever. And instead of just letting us watch the shows and be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so made a comeback, or so-and-so showed up on Raw last night and won the title, holy cow, like, where's that experience? It's gone. It is dead. It's been buried. It's just gone. So the Superstar Shakeup, at least, gives us that little bit of a taste, of, hey, any moment now, somebody from SmackDown is going to show up on Raw, or vice versa, and it's going to shock you or surprise you, and we might have like a new champion crowned all of a sudden, or we might have a new tag team formed, or a tag team's going to get broken up or something. Who knows? Things like that, at least, we have a little taste of with the Superstar Shakeup. So following the week of the Superstar Shakeup, we still had wrestlers from SmackDown and Raw showing up, and the announcers try to cover it by going, oh, the Superstar Shakeup rolls on into the next week, okay? It's still happening. It's like, no, it's supposed to be a one-time thing. Monday, Tuesday, you have the new stars show up on those shows, whether it's switching brands or coming up from NXT, whatever. And then you proceed with your new storylines with these new, fresh faces to match up with the other people that are already on the shows, etc. But no, we don't get that. We get, no, the shakeup is rolling on. Okay, fine. So we get like 2 weeks worth of Superstar Shakeup, okay? Because again, they quickly made choices that they realized, oh wait, we can't do that, we need to switch this back up, or oh, we wanted to put this guy on this show, but you know what, it's actually better if we just leave him here or do this, or oh, we got to figure out something what to do. And you know what they did? Monday night they started off the show with Vince McMahon coming out, and he's got a brilliant idea. He's like, you know what, we just had the Superstar shakeup and it was amazing, it was awesome, but now I got it. We're going to have a wild card concept. Wild card. Three guys from SmackDown and 3 from Raw at any time can show up on the show. We'll do that every week. There'll be at least 3 from each show that'll show up at random. You'll never know who's going to come, who's going to show up. It'll be amazing. I'm a genius. That was Vince again. I'm a genius. You know what? Yeah, Vince, you were a genius 20 years ago when you finally realized you had to run with the guy you didn't want to push, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And what happened? You became a billionaire and you were able to buy out your competition. Again, when your back was against the wall and you were forced to get rid of the kiddie stuff, make it more of an adult product because that was the fans who wanted to watch the show, and you had to push guys like Stone Cold and then later The Rock and Triple H, guys you really weren't pushing at the time because, again, your back was against the wall, you were losing all the ratings, you were losing to your competitor, WCW. And yeah, WCW ended up putting themselves out of business, but WWE, you were screwing yourself before you realized what you had to do. And now you're screwing yourself even more. Because here's the whole reason we did this wild card thing. If you haven't been watching Raw or SmackDown, or if you don't follow all the other backstage stuff or the behind the scenes stuff, last week, Raw's third hour went under 2 million for the first time in how many decades or years or however long, and they went into panic mode. And that's why we got this wild card concept. You know why? Because they thought, oh no, the third hour of Raw went under 2 million, and we had fewer viewers than ever before in the history of Monday Night Raw. And that was the week they put Roman on SmackDown. So they were like, oh, we got to get Roman back on Raw. Guess what? Ain't going to work. Go ahead. Bring Roman back on Raw and SmackDown at all times. Go ahead. Ain't going to work. Okay? You know why? Because you're not doing the right stories. You're not pushing the right people. Blah, blah, blah. That's what everyone says, right? But at the same time, it's true. You keep shoving stuff down our throats that we don't want. And then you expect us to still like it and cheer for whoever you want us to cheer for, whether we want to cheer for them or not. It's bizarre how you want this to happen or work out. Okay, let's talk about something else. The Revival and the Usos. The Usos, wow, they really became an amazing tag team, in my opinion. They started off doing the wild Samoan style thing of the coming out with the tribal stuff, doing the Samoan dance thing with their theme music and whatnot. And I thought that was pretty cool. And then they won the tag titles at the time, and later on now they've gone into more of this street gimmick. They're almost like Crime Time. It really reminds me of that, where they've got a little more swag in their personalities. But they went on to becoming one of the best tag teams in a long time, and I enjoy their matches. They've really made a lot of other tag teams look good, and they've had some great matches with other tag teams, and they've deserved their tag team title reigns that they've earned. Then they go to Raw, and what do we get? We get the Usos are now high school sophomores pulling sophomore pranks on the Revival. Last week, they sneak into a men's locker room, and the Revival are in the shower. One is shaving the other one's back, and because, oh, spoiler alert, wrestlers shave their body hair. Big surprise, okay? Name a wrestler in the 80s and 90s that you think, oh, they're naturally hairless. No, pretty much they all shave their backs and their chests, legs, and whatnot, because that's how they want to look presentable. Some guys want to look hairy. Not everyone wants to look like Mick Foley, okay? But some people, take care of themselves and do that. Who cares? It's the year 2019. Who cares if your tag partner is helping you shave your back? Whatever. But the Usos are giggling and snickling and videotaping this. Wasn't there a celebrity, a really B-level celebrity who got herself in trouble for filming a older woman in the locker room of a gym, and she posted it on social media, and she was trying to basically cyberbully this woman, and she ended up getting in trouble and sued and whatnot. Hello, did we not think of that before putting this little skit together? Anyways, that was last week. This week, Usos are creeping out of the locker room, like, okay, you're in the men's locker room, whatever. They creep out of the men's locker room, they snicker, and they're like, oh my gosh, they're like two little giggling girls now. It's ridiculous. And they did something, obviously. Next up, we see the Revival come out to do a tag match, and they're going against Gallows and Anderson. Man, this would have been an amazing matchup if they actually got to have a wrestling match. Amazing. Okay, first of all, I went to an NXT show in 2016 with my wife. It was our first time ever seeing a live NXT show. It was here in Houston. And the tag match we got to see was the Revival versus DIY. Yes, Gargano and Ciampa against the Revival. And it was for the NXT tag titles. The Revival was the tag champs at the time. Oh my gosh, that match was incredible. The place went nuts. So many, 2 counts and back and forth moments. It was amazing. The Revival has been treated horribly since they came up to the main roster. Now, before we get to the other part, let's talk about that real quick. The Revival has not re-signed their new contract. And so everyone is expecting, obviously, them to go to AEW if they just write out whatever contract they have left in WWE. That's the rumors going around. And if so, fine, whatever. So when we go to the ring, we see the Revival in the ring, Gallows and Anderson in the ring. So everyone gets a jobber entrance. Then the Usos come out before the match even starts. They get on the mic. They're going like, hey, guess what? We replaced y'all's Icy Hot with some Oozy Hot. And they're holding some generic, little jar with something. And they're saying that it's some kind of, hot cream that they put in their trunks. So not until the Usos make it apparent to the Revival that that was done to their trunks, then the Revival begin to fan their crotches. They take off their jackets. They rub their jackets between their legs like they're toweling themselves off in the crotch. Oh, God. I mean, one of them, I forget which one it was, but one of them sits on the ring mat, on the apron, on the ring mat, yeah, and scoots his ass across the mat like a dog scooting his butt across the carpet or something. This is embarrassing. This is horrible. How do WWE expect somebody to be like, you know what? I watch Raw and SmackDown every week, and I want my friends or my girlfriend or my boyfriend or whoever to come and watch the show with me tonight. So, hey, guys, girls, whatever, friends, I'm going to watch Raw this week. Why don't y'all come over and check it out? Maybe y'all will get into it. Imagine if this was the first show somebody's trying to introduce wrestling to another person. This is the crap they have to try to sell them on to be like, hey, come watch, oh, God, yeah, don't ever, I'm sorry, this was a bad week to show you this. This is, like, just embarrassingly bad. The Revival then run up to the apron. The Usos are like, hey, here's some bottles of water, okay, this will help. And they pour it, of course, into their trunks, thinking it'll help. And they're like, oh, don't add water, man. That makes it worse. You're supposed to drink it, which I don't even know how that's supposed to make it better, but whatever. Okay, who here has ever seen the movie from 1984, Revenge of the Nerds? Because that's the prank from that show, from that movie, where the nerds get back at the jocks. They go into the locker room of the football players. They grab all the jock straps, throw them on the floor, and then they pour like liquid heat stuff on it, which is used for like actually massaging muscles and whatnot, but it does burn. And it's the same kind of thing that the Usos did. But this is like 35 something years ago, 40 plus, I don't know how many years now, but it's embarrassing, okay? And it's just horrible what they've done to the Revival. We've got Money in the Bank coming up, and we've got no story for AJ and Rollins, really. Makes no sense for them to have this match. This should have been saved for way later on. Survivor Series, SummerSlam, something like that. Vince, you can't talk anymore, okay? Vince is old. He's been around. He's been a great heel character when he was the Mr. McMahon character during the Attitude Era, 20 years ago. But it's over, okay? His mic skills are gone. He can't cut a promo. Hey, other guys out there can't cut promos anymore, okay? Even great ones like Shawn Michaels, okay, cannot cut a promo nowadays. Hulk Hogan cannot cut a promo. Sorry. the ones that we've seen recently when Michaels came back last year for the Saudi show, no, that was horrible promo. Hogan at Mania, terrible promo, but it was all scripted, of course. One of the main stories going into Money in the Bank is Shane McMahon versus The Miz in a steel cage. Why is Shane McMahon being pushed as like the number one, number two heel in the company right now? Of all people, Shane McMahon is being pushed like unbelievably compared to anyone else, and he's being featured in a very big featured steel cage match. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm losing my mind here. So also on Monday Night Raw, we had Sami Zayn come out again to do one of his dance around the whole place and then get on the mic and start just making fun and tearing down audience and people and whatnot. He's done this already, saying like, "Oh, you guys are the worst. Oh, this is horrible." Blah blah blah. I didn't know where this was going to go at first. Okay, the first time he did it, and the first couple times, weeks he did it, was good. I enjoyed it. It was like great. They're giving him a really good heel character, heel persona. Maybe he'll get some kind of momentum here and actually go up against Rollins for the title at the next pay-per-view or the next one or so forth. Really, I mean, that's who should be challenging Rollins for the title, not AJ Styles so soon. That should be held off a little bit later. It seems so rushed after Mania. But then this week on Raw, Sami Zayn comes out, does the same stuff, which is kind of getting tiresome. Braun Strowman comes out, chases him to the back, throws him into a dumpster, and then a dumpster truck picks up the dumpster, chunks him into the back, presumably killing Sami Zayn because you're in the back of a garbage truck where they crush the trash and everything. Then the next night, one night later on SmackDown, Kofi Kingston is outside talking about challenging and so forth, being challenged for the title and so forth, and Sami Zayn comes out dancing and hopping around like nothing happened. Like, who are you, John Cena? You just come out and be like, "Well, I lost, but I'm back." Like, what is this? Where's the continuity? Did anyone forget? Oh, Sami Zayn got crushed in a dumpster last night. Maybe we shouldn't have him dance so much. Maybe wrap a cast on him or something. No, just come on out and be like, and they cut some jokes on him. AJ and AJ and Kofi cut some jokes just saying, "Oh, you stink," whatnot. Yeah, I'm sure you would do more than just stink if you've been dumped into a dumpster and crushed. Oh, so again, horrible continuity, no sense, makes no sense at all. Let's backtrack a little bit further. So following WrestleMania, Kofi Kingston winning the title, great. I was all for that. Excellent. The following weeks, we get Kevin Owens trying to pretend to be friends. Everyone saw the swerve coming. Everyone saw Kevin Owens turning on New Day and turning on Kofi to challenge for the title, obviously. When he did the turn, he attacks Kofi. He attacks Xavier Woods. He does that pop-up powerbomb on the ring apron on the outside of the ring. That should have knocked out Xavier for at least a few weeks, if not past Money in the Bank pay-per-view minimum. Big E is out because he's injured already. That is the perfect story right there. Kevin Owens against Kofi. Kofi has no help. He's a babyface. He shouldn't need the help. So, perfect story. Xavier's injured. Big E's injured, etc. Xavier is storyline injured. Big E is injured legit. But either way, Kofi is on his own. He's got a serious challenge in Kevin Owens for the title at Money in the Bank. Beautiful. This is going to be a great story. The very next night or the next week on Raw, here comes Xavier, or here comes Xavier on SmackDown, and it's like, I'm all good. It's like, what? Does anyone remember when Sami Zayn got taken out for how long whenever he got the pop-up powerbomb? I think, Cena was taken out for a few weeks after that? It makes no sense again. You are not giving yourselves any chances to really make any sense. And finally, let's also talk about this. The glorious one, Bobby Roode. Robert Roode now. One of the best NXT champions. One of the best tag teams in TNA history with Beer Money. The sky was the limit for the possibility of what they could do with this character. Okay, Bobby Roode is an amazing heel. They bring him in as a babyface. He wins the U.S. title, blah. Goes to Raw, gets paired up with Chad Gable for some reason. We're just like, when are you going to turn on Chad Gable? Come on, come on. And it never happens. They just send Gable to SmackDown, and now he's been teaming with Benjamin at least once or so. That made no sense. And now we have Bobby Roode, now Robert Roode following WrestleMania, and he's got a mustache, and he's called Robert instead of Bobby, so we're supposed to take him serious, right? Fine. He gets a win over Ricochet. Ricochet loses his first match on the main roster. Okay, excellent. Why is he not put into Money in the Bank? Ricochet gets put into the Money in the Bank matchup. The following week, or I should say this week, they have a rematch for no reason at all, except, oh wait, there is. If Robert Roode wins, he gets to take Ricochet's place in the Money in the Bank. Why not have a qualifying match to begin with where Ricochet lost and Bobby Roode wins? Or have Bobby Roode beat somebody else besides Ricochet if you still want to have Ricochet in the match and put Robert Roode in the match as well. But no, we get Ricochet has to get his win back. We got to have that even Steven booking again, and we're back to where we were way before they ever did that big authority apology we had towards the end of last year, where Vince and Shane and Triple H and Stephanie all came out and said, "You are now the authority." It's like, no, we're not. You're doing whatever you want, and then you come out and say, you know what, we're going to try harder, but we're going to do the same stuff anyways until you guys, like it. So, but we'll try harder. No, you won't. Just stop lying. So yeah, again, Robert Roode, buried, dead, just such a waste, such a waste. I mean, how do you rebuild him? How do you rebuild Robert Roode and take him serious to ever be even a contender for the IC title, for the love of God? Just give Robert Roode a push. He's got so much talent. You're just wasting it. Instead, we have, at house shows coming up, we've got Rollins defending the title, the Universal title, at house shows against Bobby Lashley or Baron Corbin. Oh, why? These characters are horrible. They have nothing to offer, and yet they get pushed. I don't understand it. Corbin to me is like Orton 2.0 of today, because Orton got pushed like crazy and never saw its potential in him either. Okay, so like I said, I was going to rant a little bit. I ranted a lot probably. But I think these are some real big issues that they have. Also, there's a big rumor I want to go ahead and share now that if you go online, you can check it out. You can find this rumor really easily. Who knows how true it is, but it's a big rumor that Fox is expecting WWE, whenever they go to Fox Network with SmackDown, they are expecting WWE to maintain a minimum 3.0 rating at all times, or they run the risk of being canceled. And if it's on Fox, they do have the right, if it's in the contract, I would imagine, to say, you know what, you didn't hold up your part of the deal, you're canceled, you're done. And then they got to find a new place for SmackDown, which will be just put on the network probably if they don't have anywhere else that's willing to take them. That's the reason we're getting all this change up and wild card stuff, because they're trying to desperately rebuild an audience and get enough people following the shows now to be ready in October when they make the change to Fox. So that's another reason why they're worried about things, is they have to make the show look good for when it goes to Raw or when it goes to Fox. As far as that 3.0 rumor, I don't know if that's totally true or not. It's a rumor, but I would not be surprised. And they do need to get their act together, because this isn't like, UPN or the Sci-Fi Channel. This is a major network channel. If it is on Fox, I've heard Fox 1 might be the other one, but I'm pretty sure I've heard it's going to be on Fox. So again, they need to get their stuff together and figure out or get out of their own way. That's what they keep doing. They keep getting in their own way. Every time they have a chance of getting some kind of momentum going, they just quickly go, you know what, fans are starting to like this now, but let's go back to what we were doing, and they'll still like it, right? No, that's when you just screw up everything again. All right, well, that's enough from me today. Thank you for listening. I had to get some of this stuff off my chest. I feel a lot better, and it helped. It's very therapeutic. All right. Well, if you are still watching Raw and SmackDown, I hope you enjoy it. If you've been struggling, hey, I'm with you there, and let's just hope for the best that things will get better. We'll see. All right, everybody. Thanks as always for listening. I'll talk to y'all later. This is your friend and host, PCJ, the Pop Culture Junkie. Staying to me, wrestling is always going to be real, and I'm signing out.